Hello to my Pisces. This is Queen Moon Ra coming to you with your general reading, Pisces. All right, Pisces, we're going to just dive right into your reading. This reading is going to be from the 5th through the 12th of September. Hopefully everybody's having a great day. Actually, you know what? Let's make it for the 6th through the 13th. Let's make it from the 6th through the 13th. Let's do that. All right. Okay. All right. Let's get into it. So on the 7th, we're going to have a full blood moon in Pisces on the same day as a total lunar eclipse. Total lunar eclipses are about totally letting go. We are in eclipse season, and so totally letting go of things that no longer serve your highest purpose, right? So we obviously know the importance of blood, in terms of, your body and the purpose of blood, right? So let's see how this full moon is going to affect you. If you're joining me here for the first time, welcome. If you're coming back, welcome back. You can join me here and over on the Patreon side. This is a general reading, so take only what resonates with you. So I will be channeling messages, channeling energy, and so it can be a little bit triggering, so if you hear a particular zodiac sign, you could think of a first name that comes to mind. It could be somebody that you know, family member, whatever. But I'll also make reference to the sign, the house that it rules as well. So keep that in mind as well. Right? Take only what resonates with you. Try not to make everything. Some readings will resonate with you totally, some will not. So just take what resonates with you. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Sending everybody lots of love and light. A full blood moon in Pisces especially is very powerful for you all since it happens in your own sign because it's lunar eclipse. The energy is amplified, bringing turning points, revelations, and endings that directly impact your identity, your relationships, and personal growth. So in the area of identity and self-image, this eclipse shines a spotlight on you, who you are, how you present yourself, and what parts of your life no longer fit. So you may feel pulled to shed an old version of yourself, like stepping out of your skin that becomes, too tight, right? So you may have outgrown some things, right? Also, it can feel emotional, but ultimately liberating, pushing you towards authenticity. Also in the area of relationship and balance, since the moon is in Pisces, will be in Pisces, right, on the 7th, which opposes it in Virgo. The theme is self versus partnerships are activated. So you may experience shifts in relationships, whether that means redefining, boundaries, releasing connections that no longer serve, or deepening bonds where there's true alignment. And then also in the area of emotional and spiritual awakening, you're already an intuitive zodiac sign, so sensitive and spiritual. With the blood moon in your sign, your psychic awareness with emotional depth are supercharged. So dreams, synchronicities, and inner insights may guide you towards your next chapter. And then also in the area of endings and new beginnings, blood moons often signify karmic closure. So for you, this may feel like an end to an era, letting go of patterns, identities, or relationships that kept you small. At the same time, it opens the door to powerful rebirth that also allows you to step into your true essence. Let's get it. I am prosperous and abundant in everything I do. Speak it into existence. All right. Let's get it. Let's go. So what is a current situation source with my Pisces? Current situation with my Pisces. I'm going to swing back around, make sure that I give you all some final tips to kind of sort of round it out. Tips for, during the full moon in Pisces. And again, if you're joining me here, thank you for joining me here. If you're joining me on the Patreon side as well, thank you for joining me on both sides. What is the current situation with my Pisces? Current situation source. Current situation. All right. So someone is somebody is high vibrational. Someone is at a very high vibration right now, knowing that God is within them. Somebody is speaking prosperity and abundance in everything that they do in their lives. Someone knows who they are. Someone's confidence level is at an all-time high, right? So here we have the 5 of Pentacles. Somebody is at this point of leaving people out. You're like, people who have at some point come into your home and Even people who have had a key to your house that have, and look, we see people who have physically had a key to your home that have caused you, that were just very cold-blooded, that have actually caused you to lose a lot of money in the physical and in the sense of your self-worth, right? You know, calling themselves joking around, you know, playing around in your fifth house, right? Just emotionally cold, joking around in your fifth house. You're like, no, you're not playing around in your fifth house anymore. You know, like meaning that, you know, people very creative, people who, you know, you kind of sort of took a gamble on before, and, you know, energies that you may have dated in the past, or energies that, you know, you may have, you know, just recreationally hung out with. You know, somebody is taking these portals very, very serious, because these are spirits that somebody is letting in, right? A spirit, it could be a spirit of depression, a spirit of joy, a spirit of whatever you're letting in to your space. Somebody is very, very serious about who and what you let into your space, right? And people think you're running away from something. A lot of people have that in common, but I say it a lot on my readings, like you're being very careful about who you're letting in your space, because that is how a lot of people, believe it or not, are losing. That's how a lot of people are getting set out of their homes. They don't even recognize how powerful who you let in your house. You think what's coming up missing is flatware, dishes, you know, those kind of things. You're like, okay, how did that, I know I left $5 on the dresser, or I know I left, you know, I know I had that, my, you know, my purse, or I had this here or that there. But in the spiritual realm, next thing you know, you tossing and turning, you having nightmares. You know, your peace comes up missing. You know, you're like, okay, now wait a minute now. You start feeling depressed, right? So somebody has gotten to a new level of emotional intelligence, right? Of saying, I can't just let everybody into my home. I can't let everybody through that door, across that door. And so somebody wants to return, but they don't realize, whoever this energy is, they don't realize who they're running with. You see this Knight, you know, just the fact that because of who they talk to, basically who they're linking up with. Y'all know what I'm saying? It could be a younger person, and they could have been like, oh, I was just joking around, I was just playing, you know, but somebody was connected to a master manipulator. And this is what you have in common with someone. This is what you have in common with a family member, by the way. And because of who they were hanging out with, or who they were linking up with, we're talking about the 8th house here, it takes you all the way back to 8th house. Pisces rules 12th house. So you got to go back in your memory, because I got to go back to 5th house. I got to go back to see, wait a minute, hold on. Who did I let into my home? Who was I joking and laughing around with? And, you know, who were my kids hanging out with? Like, it goes back to you thinking about, like, no matter how old your kids are, your kids could be like 20, 30, 40 years old, but who did they bring into your home? That's what somebody is now thinking now. Like, okay, who did your kids bring into the home? You know, were they sitting there assessing everything you had in your home? Who are they running with, right? And so somebody was, you know, with a master manipulator who actually made them feel worthless, who kept telling them, you know, you get us to this place, you know, you do this for us, then we're going to get you through some doors. Basically, like somebody was going through some kind of an initiation process. If you get us here, you know how sometimes Pisces, when parents say to kids, and everybody has been there at some point where the parents said, you know what, that's not really your friend. That's what I'm picking up in your reading here. And you try to tell your kids, if you have kids, or if you have nieces and nephews, you don't necessarily have to have kids. You know, that's not really your friend. You hanging out with certain people, that's not really, and they don't hear you until, you know, they being brought down to the lowest of low, right? So I'm seeing here success. So somebody hears you loud and clear now. This is what you and somebody have in common. Yeah, you're very successful because somebody is built strong, right? Somebody is the Hierophant. Somebody has an innate spiritual understanding of things, of how some people can just be quite stubborn. Sometimes that stubbornness is like, you know, they got to see something to believe it. Sometimes people got to see it to believe it. You're like, okay, you keep trying to tell people that's not really your friend. They see you come from a nice home, and it's not about how much money you have. They see you come from, sometimes it's just having a mom and dad in the house. Sometimes it's just living in the house. Sometimes it's it could be the smallest of things that, you sort of kind of take for granted. You could be feeling like, okay, you just trying to make it from paycheck to paycheck. It could just be the slightest things that parents are struggling, but their friends could see it as like, oh, they got a lot going on, so sometimes people don't believe it. So here's the 7 of Cups here. So this, 7 of Cups here it's like the devil is in the details. So some energies, this lets me know that some people wanted to climb a ladder. They wanted to get to a higher ranking in something. So this energy, they created something. It wasn't even something that they even had to do to get to a higher level. Somebody just created something just to see if they would do it. Yeah. Just to see if they're going to do it. Let's see how easily somebody could be controlled. Let's see how easily somebody could be controlled. So Source is saying, looking at the cards here, you're learning how to keep certain spirits out of your vault door. The polarity to, because when you know your worth and you know your value, whoever you are, Source is saying, you're just learning how to keep certain energies out of your vault door. Yeah, you're just learning how to keep certain energies out of your vault door. Somebody is now just kind of sort of tossing fear, doubt, uncertainty, or whatever into a burning bowl, and you're just moving on. Yeah, so, you're just moving on. Yeah, somebody was listening. So sunny outside, very nice outside. Someone was, just sitting there, just listening, A Libra was sitting there listening to something. Just with a phone kind of sort of sitting there, just listening. And so somebody saw that and said, okay, let's see. So Source is saying, here we go. You have a whole new lease on life. You have a whole new lease on life here. Yep, you have a whole new lease on life. Yeah. Yep, you have a whole new lease on life. So Source is saying when you feel like you have the key, like to, something that made you feel worthless, younger, this is where you work on your Chiron. Yeah, here we also have the King of Wands here. And so, yeah. So this is where somebody feels like, and I say Libra in particular, right? Because we're talking about the polarity of these signs, right? Libra, well, not the polarity. Libra and Taurus are both ruled by Venus, the goddess of love, pleasure, art, music, aesthetics, right? And then also the Hermit card, right? So somebody knows kind of sort of what gets people out of the house, kind of what gets people out of hermit mode, right? And so what, who could back certain energies up with certain things, right? Who could back certain energies up with certain things, right? Some of you will have family members that could back you up with certain things, and some of you will also have, that you have your spirit guides to back you up with certain things as well. Here we are. But somebody's not going back to something. Yeah, so for some of you all looking at your cards, let me see what we got going here. There's there could be also Sagittarius involved. Sagittarius rules 9th house, so you and Sagittarius actually are ruled by Jupiter. That's what you all have in common. Good luck, good fortune, right? Good luck and good fortune. Let's see what else we have going on here. Yeah. So when you're sitting somewhere and you're talking to energies, right? Let me see if I have something to show you all, because this is how you can also, well, I can't say test. Let's see. this right here. Let's say this is a phone or like a device or whatever, because all these devices are recording, like devices, right? And someone is kind of sitting there, right? So you don't know who an energy is, and it's just kind of sitting there with something and you notice it. Source is saying to you, where's the water? This energy right here, right? These two energies here are, somebody could be also listening, right? Not for anybody to be paranoid by anything, but source is saying it's time for you to like really get focused into like who you let into energetically, like what kind of cold spirit you let into, you know, your space, you know, what kind of cold spirit you let into your space. Because looking at your cards here, somebody needed to climb a ladder in a situation here. This is the Five of Pentacles here, and they felt like they had the key. They said, okay, well, you know what, let's try this. Okay, they're an air sign. You could be whatever your sign is. Doesn't necessarily have to be a Pisces. You could be an air sign, or your north node could be an air, right? Or your 5th house could be air. Doesn't really matter. Or your 12th house could be air. Doesn't really matter, right? Send out a message through the air. They're high vibrational, right? Send them somewhere, right? Right? Send them somewhere, right? So source is saying to you, what's happening here, basically, just so we're all clear, right, is that you never know who you're around, who's listening, who's paying attention, because I'm seeing this right here. We have air and water here, right here. Who is enlightening whom on what? You know, who's enlightening whom about what? Right? So somebody is now, here we have this Page of Pentacles here. Page energy is messenger energy, by the way. So someone is going to send someone a message. Someone is going to send someone a message. Here we also have the Queen of Wands here. So King and Queen of Wands here. So someone, looking at your cards here, someone has a fire energy here. 9th house, right? So someone, whatever your zodiac sign is in your 9th house, somebody could be sending someone a message, right? Of just kind of sort of like their shadow self, you know, just to send a message, to shine a light on something, right? Right, here we have the King of Swords here. We don't put this here because we got the King of Swords twice here, and then also the Judgment card, right? Because somebody has gone, looks like, through 3 rebirths. This is where you got 3 butterflies here too. So butterflies may be of significance here. That somebody is breaking generational cycles, chains, and curses. And this is what I'm seeing here in the cards, right? Yeah. Somebody has been, we got these 2 cards here. These 2 lions here. So this is what I was picking up on for you all, whoever you are. And again, your sun sign does not have to be Pisces, right? So I'm picking up on, this is what you have in common with somebody. So somebody sent you somewhere, right? In the spiritual realm. Something could have seemed like it was by coincidence, but there was somebody there. There was another person there. So you could have gone to a public place. You could have been in someone's house. You could have just been talking. You know, just could have been just talking. Just random conversation, right? And so people could have assumed that you were, lying. You see these 2 lions right here, lying behind 2 people's backs about something, or maybe 3. 1, 2, 3. Some people could have been assuming that you were lying behind 3 people's backs that have gone through rebirths, right? See these butterflies here, right? So source is saying these 3 butterflies now want to bring judgment down on somebody, right? Could be want to bring judgment down on you, by the way. Because they're saying you're running from something, right? Running basically from compassion, like from pouring into yourself. Like running from some kind of compassion. Like learning how to pour into yourself. It's like when you get, anxious about something, you go running and telling or talking about something or talking about somebody behind your back. And you know what? Looking at this though, I feel like this Five of Pentacles here, whoever you are, this is where the real compassion comes in, because you can look at it as two sides of the swords here, whoever you are, because this person with the Five of Pentacles is by themselves. This person is by themselves. And there's a reason why people feel like they're alone. This is where the real compassion comes in. Somebody had to do something for somebody to feel like they were by themselves. Somebody had to do something for a person to feel like they were by themselves. Because there's an obsession here, right? And so somebody is saying you're talking about an obsession, whatever your zodiac sign, it doesn't really matter. And it literally picked from Aries all the way down to Pisces, whatever your zodiac sign is, it doesn't really matter. Somebody's basically saying that somebody's obsessed, right? Obsessed with basically talking about people behind their backs. Like family behind their backs, basically, because Judgment card connects us with Pluto, and we talk about something is generational, right? So here we have, here's the Seven of Pentacles here, and it's planting seeds, right? Here's the Seven of Pentacles right here. So it's planting seeds, right? That's growing. Yeah, so Source is saying to you, when you're trying to gather information, whoever you are, it doesn't really matter whoever you are, and you're not getting information from energies that you have asked, whoever, it doesn't matter, because Five of Pentacles, the other side of that is Ten of Pentacles. That would mean family. So let's say, for instance, Pisces, you went to your family and you asked for your family specific questions and they didn't give you anything. They were the ones, because remember, this connects us with 12. 1 and 2 is 3. 3 is talking, right? So there's two sides of 3. Right? So let's say you went to family members, because that's the other side of the Five of Pentacles here, because I'm looking at, I read cards upright and in reverse. Let's say you go to family members and you're saying you're asking family about certain things. Well, who is this and what's that and where is this and such and da 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 and da da da, and they seem to be running away from something, right? This could be you right here. This could be a man or woman, right? You could say, okay, you empathize. Maybe they don't want to share something. Maybe it's something somebody don't want you to know about something. Like, what is it? Okay, you just move on, right? That would be compassion right there. Like, okay, you want to find out what's going on. You move on, right? You toss fear, doubt, uncertainty into a burning bowl. And you say, okay, you just move on, right? You don't need to be kept in the loop. That's the difference between a person who just keeps banging at a door until your fist is almost bloody, keep asking, and so people are saying, oh, you feel left out. That person, they just mad because they're left out of something. And the person who says they don't feel left out, they just moved on. They're gonna ask. They're trying to make connections. And so we're talking about blood moon here. So this is a person who has risen above the judgment. So you can either be either or. I'm reading the cards on both sides, right? You can read the card upright or in reverse. Upright and in reverse, right? This could be a person who's risen above judgment. This could be you. You say you've risen above the judgment. High vibrational. Said, okay. This person is sitting on a throne. This person sitting on a throne. This person sitting on a throne. This person sitting on a throne, right? This is air. This is fire, right? It really is a matter of perspective and how you see this person running away from something or they're going to something. So it really is a matter of how you see it, right? So each one of these energies are going to say that they're prosperous in everything that they do, except the energy that feels like they're being used. That's it. Yeah, so somebody's going to look up and feel like, okay, they were being used by everybody. They were just, just a pawn in a game. just stuck, right? Until the game is over. Until it just ends, right? So yeah, so here's the death card. So something has ended. Something has ended. Yeah, the judgment has ended. Yep. But everything is fine. Judgment has ended. Everything is fine. Because looking at all of this, excuse me, looking at all of this, it looks like what may have seemed to be people talking about people's back actually looks like, just from what I'm reading in the cards. So take what resonates with you again. It's almost like discovery. It's almost like people just want to be kept in the loop, and that's it. So, and if people feel like they're not being kept in the loop about certain things, they just move on. They're like, okay, you know what? I'll just keep it high vibrational. There could just be a difference in how this is right here. You got the King of Swords twice. You got the Queen and King of Wands here, and just moving on. But Source saying at the end of the day, everything is fine. Yeah. Here's the Eight of Swords. This is you doing your mirror work. So somebody, their emotions were dried up. Like, this is a person who is basically like, okay, you know who you are when you look in the mirror, but you're not going to restrict yourself anymore. This person who's just decided, hey, you're not going to keep restricting yourself. You're just going to move on. This is what you have in common with someone. You said, okay, Source has your back. You're not waiting for somebody else to have your back. Source has your back. Yeah. Okay, let's see what else we got going on here. So here we have your enemy's plan backfired. The much better lies ahead. Yeah. Yeah, so something is coming to an end. You know, something is coming to an end. You feeling restricted when it comes to something. Here we have, you have the gift of telepathy. This is the transference of thoughts, feelings, ideas, whether they're emotively or super consciously. However, so somebody apologizes for hurting you. Here we have the answers you seek are coming soon. Follow your heart. This is kind of going to spill over into the video that's going to be on Patreon. Y'all see how. Anyway, take your time to decide. Let me see. Your bitter ex's lover wants you. I don't even know what that means. But anyway, check your request list again. Let me see. So somebody is, in terms of your love life, in terms of your money, Source wants somebody to keep their vibrations high. But all in all, when it looks like you're reading here, it looks like somebody is keeping things, you and somebody are keeping things high vibrationally. You know, with a situation here, and there could be a difference in whatever, you know, in a situation, but yeah. Yep, so here we have, don't forget that rest is a form of self-care. Yeah, don't look back. Yeah, you're not looking back. The wealth is within your reach. And then drink more water is a form of self-care. Drink more water is a form of self-care. Yeah. So somebody was sending you messages. It looks like someone was sending you messages through the air, whoever you are, and was trying to send you almost to two places. That's what this two King of Wands here, two places, right? Trying to get you to go through two doors, right? Trying to get you to go through two different doors, right? One of them you didn't go through, because I can see this on the Five of Cups, I mean Five of Pentacles here. One of the doors you didn't go through. So healed people move differently. You have the gift of clairaudience. Yep, you are an answered prayer. And you have the gift of deja vu. And you versus you. So your ancestors are proud of you. Yep, your ancestors are proud of you. So it looks like there is a Scorpio, or when I say Scorpio, it could be 8th house. Scorpio rules 8th house. Somebody was trying to keep you somehow, whatever your zodiac sign is in your 8th house. Find out what your zodiac sign is in your 8th house. Third eye chakra. So I see somebody doing downward dog here. So your pineal gland, your third eye is definitely open. For some of you all, it could be an Aquarius man. Because I'm seeing this King of Swords here. I feel it could be 2 Aquarius men. 2 Aquarius men, 1 Aries man, who is this? Could be 2 Leo women. Could be a Sagittarius. Looks like it's a group of energies. Looks like a group of energies here. But yeah, bottom line is that if you keep asking, and family could mean blood relatives. I mean, it's a blood moon, but it could be blood relatives or not, right? Whoever you deem as family. Whoever you deem as family. But it looks like when you're knocking on a door and you're not getting any answers, you're going to either sit there and wait and wait and wait and wait, or you're going to go out and search for answers. You're going to go out and search for answers. So here we have mental conflict. Yeah. Some kind of mental conflict. Yeah. So I see somebody rejoicing and celebrating. Rejoicing and celebrating. All right. Okay. That is what I'm seeing for you all. This is what I am seeing for you all. Somebody was obsessed with ending you. Whoever these, I guess these 2 men are, maybe 2 or 3 men. Yeah, because somebody says somebody was, the way that they climbed the ladder, somebody was a snake and they climbed the ladder. I don't know how somebody is saying somebody climbed the ladder. It doesn't even really matter how somebody, because there's too many, when we talk about, especially like in work, I mean, I've seen too many people in the workplace be, come from the same hometown. So people make up all kinds of stories. You could come from the same hometown, right? So yeah, here we have awakening. Yeah, awakening. So, oh my Lord, wake me from life as a spiritual sheep. May I hear you through my own instincts and common sense. Yeah, people can come from the same hometown. It may not be anything funny or crazy going on, but you hear all kind of awful gossip, craziness. Anyway, so I'm seeing people wake up. Yeah, but you're not looking back. You're keeping some spirits outside of your vault door. You are drinking more water as a form of self-care. Wealth is within your reach. Don't look back. Don't forget that rest is a form of self-care. Check your request list again. Your bitter exes. I don't even know what this means, but so take your time to decide. Your ancestors are proud of you, right? So you versus you. You have the gift of deja vu. And that's like it's like remembering the future. So you are an answered prayer. And you have the gift of clairaudience. Healed people move differently. The answers you seek are coming. Somebody apologizes for hurting you. You have the gift of telepathy, and much better lies ahead, and so on and so forth. There it is. Yeah. Last thing I'm gonna say about this, because I'm again looking at the five of Pentacles here, is again and whenever I see a sword energy, This means that you and other people have the same thing in common. What you have in common with some other people are that Eight of Swords is like basically people talking to a person is almost as if they don't exist. Like, you know, like you're disrespectful to a person. Like you talk to a person like they're just invisible. Like they don't even, like they're no longer alive. You know, well, y'all get the point. Yeah. So trapped in fear. Yeah. Yeah, so somebody could be trapped in fear. Yeah, somebody could be trapped in fear or something. And unfortunately, people are actually rejoicing this. I don't know where the compassion is in all of this. But yeah, some people are kind of sort of trapped in fear in all of this. But anyway, people are talking about partnerships and alliances now, so take what resonates with you. Take what resonates. But wherever you went, and this is again when you're in new spaces, because that's what Seven of Cups is. It's like, okay, the scales from your eyes have been removed, and you moved on somewhere. Wherever you are in new spaces, that could be a new job, new friendships, new geographical location, and whether you know people, don't know people, whatever. People could be recording, they could be talking to other people, could be just trying to find out information. You never know who knows whom, who's sitting there, you know, that kind of thing. But that's what it looks like here. So yeah, and people are talking. All right, so here we have the Ace of Swords here. So this is where you find out what your 5th house is. Yeah, find out what your 5th house is. Right? And this is where you're saying, okay, you're cutting ties. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Because what I'm looking at here, I'm going to go ahead and close this out after this. And like I said, I'll put some more information over on the Patreon side, but yeah. That's what it looks like, wherever you went to. And this happens to everybody pretty much. People are recording and listening to see who's connected to whom, who's talking to whom, who's listening, who's that kind of thing. So yeah, courage. All right, that is what I have for you. Hopefully this is helpful. See you in the next video. Bye.